we've gotten away from the original question, though. So can we go back to privacy?
Yes.
What is your party's view on privacy? Because the PLP offered their stance on privacy. So what is the FAP's stance on privacy?
The FAP is fully behind the rights of privacy, as we are all civil liberties. We believe that all traditional liberties granted should be kept to the people and should not be abridged, including the right to privacy.
Do you have any limits on privacy that your party believes in?
We have been, there was a post on the website and about whether or not there was military or war happening. Do you think that privacy should be abridged? And there was also one about terrorists. And we stood to our guns and chose that liberties should still be upheld, but only should be in strict circumstances that endangers the public. And we really mean strict circumstances. Not just there's suspicion that someone could be a terrorist or there's suspicion it endangers the nation. We would like more strict than that.
Such as?
Like if say the suspect's proven to be responsible of terrorism activities or things of that nature, that's when we would believe that the right to privacy and other rights could be taken.
Okay. I believe we covered that subject well enough. This question is directed toward the FAP.
Right.
Tyler, what are your views on the environment as it stands today? Recently, the EPC created a negative ad pertaining to your views, and as I recall, your views are not environmental. Why is this? Is this land that we live in not important?
There has been much confusion and much accusation that the FAP does not have an environmental policy, but we have said for many weeks that if you just visit our website or just check our recent posts, or we even gave a speech at the EPCs when they held a rally. We gave a speech. We do have an environmental policy. We believe in the creation of national parks and reservations for wildlife. We also believe in searching for an alternative fuel source. We believe we must keep using this source of fuel, like fossil fuels, what we have now. We have to keep using that currently because we have not found a cheap enough or reliable alternative source. But we believe sternly on finding that alternative source. And I do not know where people have developed that we do not care about the environment, because we stand strongly behind the environment and would like to see it improve.
I have a question. Recently, you've also released an ad, and in your ad, you mentioned not being prejudiced, such things like that. And then you also talk about that you do actually have an environmental policy.
Yes.
This is all great, but my concern is, how do you respond to the quotes taken specifically from you and your party spokesman? And how do you respond to things like calling people who care about the environment hippies, or saying that global warming is fake and we don't need to go green?
The allegations of that we believed were extremely used out of context. This does not seem very professional, but it was me and another member of our party, or it was kind of an inside joke in between us, the whole hippie term. That's where it's got taken out of line. We're definitely not prejudiced against people who support the environment as we support the environment ourselves. As for the quote from our party spokesman, Jacob Reinhardt, the FAP does not believe in global warming, and we will stand behind that. We do not believe that that is fake, but we believe it is fake, and we stand behind our quotations.
Any response to this, Emily, at all?
The FAP has called people who believe in performing and protecting the environment hippies, and while global warming, it's their opinion that it's false, we totally believe that it's real, and we believe people should be going green, and we should be working very hard to conserve our environment right now by restricting development in environmentally depreciated places, such as places like wetlands or forests that need to be torn down. They should be conserved instead of torn down for development. Also, the finding a fuel source and an alternative fuel source. We believe very strongly in looking towards sources such as solar power and wind energy to replace the fossil fuels of today. And we also, the PLP would like to start a recycling program in the nation and place recycling bins in all public places in order to try to encourage recycling for our nation.
Did you have something to say?
Yes. The FAP also, as we stated before, believe in reserving such lands as wetlands or forests. We do not believe in tearing them down for such reasons like that. We spoke of this earlier. And what was the first thing you said when you first started? You don't recall? Well, I have no further things to say.
Any further questions before we move on?
Okay, I think that wraps up our environment. I'd like to ask for both of you, and you'll both be given your chance to speak. What is your opinion of the Immigration Reform Act that was recently passed in Arizona? And should this line of thinking become the policy of the Franklin states, or should it remain the decision of individual states within our country?
The FAP, we wrote that we supported the bill because we believe that illegal immigration is a growing problem in the nation. And we do not want this to start increasing. We want to decrease it as fast as possible. The allegations that this bill will cause social profiling we believe to be false. We believe that we are hiring and training these federal officers to enforce the law, and we're not going to hire someone who is known to have prejudice or is known to do social profiling. We believe that it will be in their best judgment to someone that they believe could be here illegally. And of course, it says in the bill that they have to be stopped for another reason. So if the officers could want, they could just check with every stop whether or not the person is illegal or whether or not they're legal. It's not going to create social profiling. We stand behind it. Now, whether or not the states want to create more strict rules or whatever they want to do in their own state level, they can, but we believe they must first have that basis that is set by the national government.
The PLP, while we recognize illegal immigration as a major problem facing our country today, we do not support the bill recently passed. We do believe that it encourages racial profiling. It states that if people look suspicious of being an illegal immigrant when they're being searched for something else, when it says that people will look suspicious of illegal immigration, we don't agree with this wording because we don't understand how a person can look suspicious of illegal immigration. We don't think that's a specific look any person has, and we believe that with police officers knowing that people of Latino descent who look Mexican or have Spanish accents or stuff like that, they'll think that they're more likely to be illegal immigrants than people who don't have that because they know that more illegal immigrants come from countries like that. And we believe that is racial profiling because they are judging people based on what they look like, and it makes them look suspicious of illegal immigration, and we don't believe that that's right.
But as the FAP said recently, the officers, when they pull over the person for another crime, and they ask them they don't have to do it for a reasonable suspicion. They could just make it part of their daily plan to just everyone that they pull over ask for whether or not to see if they're legal or illegal or not, if it's going to be that big of a problem. If people are going to accuse it of increasing racial profiling, then I believe that's one of the things the FAP can do to ensure that these allegations are struck down.
Okay, how do you feel about setting a national policy